This time. Maybe this time.
Mrs. Devote, it has been 8 months now.
I know. And it's costing a small fortune in your time and resources.
Then why don't we...
It's just that everything my husband and I discovered leads us here.
With all due respect, you and Mr. Devote are hardly experienced investigators.
Unlike my sister, I know that. Hans has been at me to give this up already. But it's my sister who we know is down there. I have to be sure. I have to know.
Do you know how many people deliberately vanish every year, Mrs. Devote? Thousands. Most of them turn up again, even if only to say they're alright. But sometimes, not until years later. If your sister chose to vanish, she could do it with consummate ease with her background. How do we know this isn't some assignment she's on?
Because her editor would have told us. According to him, she was taking a break after exposing that military cover-up.
I remember. The awards she won were impressive. For the 3rd year running, I think.
Each one meant something to her. She never quite believed she could really win one, let alone 3. She loved life, her job, her family. She hadn't argued with anyone, had no enemies.
Well, that's where you might be wrong, Mrs. Devote. In her work, she was bound to make enemies, and after her last case blew up in that corruption ring in the army, well, she must have upset a lot of influential people. I'll give you until 6, and then I'm calling it off. I'm sorry.
Thank you. You've already done more than I expected.
To be frank, I admired your sister. That's what keeps me going on this case. I'm as intrigued as you, but out of respect for her rather than family loyalty. I want her to be living it up in Spain or South America. The last thing I want is for you to be right. But if she is under this, then rest assured I'm going to find out why.
You must be Mrs. Devote. I met your husband a few months back at a charity do, the art gallery.
I do apologize, Mrs. Devote. Allow me to introduce you to Dr. Moore.
I remember my husband talking about you. You made a nice donation to his project. He was very grateful.
A police doctor's wages aren't high, Mrs. Devote, but I'd rather see young people's art on my walls than their drug-filled corpses at the mortuary.
Well,
They found something. There's a car there. 1 occupant, a driver. It's been there, well, quite a while. ID will be difficult. It'll take a couple of days to sort everything out.
Is it a woman's body?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Devote. I believe it is. It's a dark car, probably a Mini, imported from the United Kingdom. We don't know if she's the one inside it yet.
anything else?
Please, don't spare me anything. Inspector Hooven will tell you I'm not a shrinking violet. And I will find out eventually.
I don't want to make you assume the worst until I can do an autopsy. It is definitely a woman. I can't say more than that except in an informal opinion. From what I could see, the victim had been shot. Close range. Back of the head. This was no accident. This looks like murder.
What is this?
It's obviously a handbag.
It's hers. God, it's hers.
I'm sorry.
If you could identify that this ID does belong to your sister.
Yes, that's Jana. And this is where she died, isn't it? Murdered. My own sister murdered.
Now we'll not know for a while. That is why the hatchling is still alive. We may need to study his DNA more closely. And you will stay here as well, for now.
Now, just a minute. Ah!
The paralysis will pass in time.
How long?
A few hours, maybe a day. By then we may have retaken our world. That depends on Auggi. All I will say is that with you here, this time, no one can stop us.
It'll happen outside the House of Commons, 3 p.m, and I'll finally be able to kill those C-19 arses who are wrecking my Glasshouse. That is a fake, a forgery. It's a plot by someone who wants to discredit us, break up the alliance between your ministry and the private sector. It's a complete fabrication. and it will never stand up in court.
We are well aware of that, but it does not alter the fact that 3 men died that day, and I'm only sitting here due to the bravery of one of those men. I regret that these events, whatever Sir Marmaduke's involvement in them, have forced our hand in this matter. After all, I was responsible for persuading all of you here, as well as the Minister, that Sir Marmaduke's Glasshouse project was worthwhile. I still believe it is. However, I do believe that it would be appropriate for there to be a change in management. The Minister has allowed me to arrange to buy Sir Marmaduke out of the Glasshouse at, I might add, a very fair price. Enough to keep you comfortable for the rest of your life.
I accept that offer, Sir John, in the spirit in which it has been offered. Unfairly, unnecessarily, and spitefully. Yes, take the blasted Glasshouse project. I would not wish to work for, indeed ever see any of you ever again after today. But for the record, I believe you are all in error. I have been framed. Somebody is out to get me, or obtain my facility for their own ends. That tape is forged somehow, and I shall prove it. And when I do, I will drag this quorum through the slander court so fast you'll end up paying me 6 times the offer currently on the table. You, sir, I believe to be my friend. You have destroyed my faith in this ministry, and our relationship in particular. Take the Glasshouse and everything involved in it. I don't want your blood money because I have my pride. Good day to you all. I hope, young man, you have all of that on the record.
Whatever you say, Sir Marmaduke.
Walter? No, Celian. If you can bring my car round, I'm going to walk outside for a few moments. Clear my head. That bloody man, Sudbury. I won't stand for it. I won't. You! What do you want? Why aren't you typing up your copious notes? Is this Sir John's futile attempt at an apology? Who are you?
Me? I'm the new owner of your Glasshouse, Sir Marmaduke.
But you're just a recorder.
Oh, Sir Marmaduke, I'm a great many things.
Your eyes! My God, man, what's happened to your eyes?
You're a fool, Harrington Smythe. We've been using you for months now, preparing to take over your little nursing home, preparing ourselves.
But you're with C-19!
Am I? I suppose, in a way I am. But I'm also involved in far more interesting things.
Hey, Michael. I don't think any of the locals are going to attack us. No need for the pistol, eh?
Can't be too careful, Maisie. You never know. The brig always says to be prepared.
You sound like a Boy Scout. When you've been with UNIT longer, you'll learn to relax a bit more.
But how long is that? The life expectancy of a UNIT soldier isn't exactly known to be high.
We all know the risks when we sign on the dotted line.
I know, but it sounds quite glamorous when you're in the regular army, pounding some parade square, or going on endless maneuvers in Germany.
So, why did you join up?
A long story, involving family pressure, peer group pressure, university pressure, and personal inability to say no to anyone who thought they could run my life better than I could.
Wow. Anything you do actually like in your life?
No, don't get me wrong. I actually like it. I mean, UNIT is great because it has an element of risk, of the unknown. I've done things here that I could never have dreamed of. I've travelled through time rips. I've arranged for top-secret objects to be locked away. I've seen more weirdness here in 2 months than I could have hoped for in 10 years in the regular army. I'm not leaving this place, unless it's on a blanket-covered stretcher.
How grim. Best I've done is book restaurant tables for the Brigadier and the Doctor, order sandwiches for Sir John Sudbury, and have a Nestine energy unit delivered to the National Space Museum.
Huh. Didn't know such a thing existed.
Nor me. You are a weird one yourself, Michael.
Why?
Most of us are doing a job. Okay, I'm a glorified telephonist and radio ham, but I probably know more about UNIT and what it does than any foot soldier here. But it doesn't greatly interest me. You're sort of odd. You like all this crap. Aliens, killer robots, space missions bringing back alien plagues and all that. It actually interests you, doesn't it?
I think so, yes.
Do you know why we're here?
Silurians. That's what Benton said when he rang. I had a quick flick through the files and gathered that they're
reptile people, who occupied a civilization upon this planet millions of years ago before mankind could even talk clearly. Recently located in some caves in Derbyshire. Research, however, has caused some speculation that a similar colony was found in the Antarctic during the 20s, although the unit station subsequently set up there has yet to provide any concrete evidence. Unlike most reptiles, they appear to be able to adapt to both extreme hot and extreme cold temperatures. They are dangerous when roused, and they are a Code 1101 menace.
How did you learn all this?
I typed the file you read. I also lost my fiancé to them at Wenley Moor. Possibly out of consideration for my feelings, or maybe because Sir John won't extend his budget. The Brigadier has not had a captain since Sam was killed.
I'm sorry, Maisie. I didn't know.
No reason why you should. Even his family doesn't know. They think he died in a military car accident in Switzerland. Do you know how many lies I have to type, Mike? How often I have to write and tell someone that their son or daughter has been killed while on attachment to unit? I can say they died when an autom shot them in Essex, or a supposed friendly alien shoved more radiation through their body with one touch than they'd get if they sat on a reactor in Windscale for 6 months. No. They died in a car accident, or a swimming accident, or missing after maneuvers in the Gobi Desert have gone awry. I had to write to George Hawkins, a man I spent Christmas with last year, and tell him Sam died in an accident when he actually died protecting us all from a bunch of reptilian killers.
I thought the Brigadier wrote to people.
Oh, Michael, you're so sweet.
Oh, thanks. I think.
Yeah, he signs them. But I research who they go to and actually type them up. All right, that's enough about that. What next?
That's the first time you've talked about Sam's death, isn't it?
Not allowed to talk about it, am I? Official Secret Act and all that. Thanks for listening, though.
Thanks for talking. If you want to do it again, I'm always around.
Here comes Tom.
Sergeant, Corporal Hawke. I left Corporal Bell talking to Sergeant Robert Lyons. It appears he knew the doctor.
We knew that. That's why you went to find him.
Oh! Yes, right. Well, he knows nothing more, it seems. But he wants to help. The doctor obviously took him into some confidence.
Trap 1 to Greyhound 2. Over.
Greyhound 2 to Trap 1, receiving.
Hello, sir. News for you from Sir John Sudbury. The Glasshouse has been closed down pending an inquiry. Sir John wants us to oversee the removal of sensitive materials. Over.
Oh, great. Roger, Trap 1. We'll inform Greyhound 1 of the situation. Do nothing until contacted. Over and out. We'd better find the Brigadier.
Greyhound 1 to Trap 1. Are you receiving?
Afternoon, sir. You got my message? Over.
Certainly did, Benton. What the hell is Sudbury up to? We need the Glasshouse. Over.
No idea, sir, but I think he wanted us there quickly. To be frank, sir, I think he was worried that Sir Marmaduke Harrington Smythe would go back there and, well, scuttle ship, as it were. Over.
Do as Sudbury asks, Benton. Take a small squad of men you trust implicitly. I don't want a word of this getting out. Remember, not even everyone at unit knows of the Glasshouse's existence. Over.
Understood, sir. Over and out.
Where's Corporal Bell?
Still at the police station, sir.
Not much to learn, is there?
No, sir. I suggest that a couple of us stay here for the night. See if anything unusual turns up.
Good idea, Sergeant. You keep a couple of your men here. I'll go back to HQ with the corporals. Osgood, can you drive the other car?
Yes, sir.
We'll pick up Bell at the station. Got your radio, Yates?
And I'm armed, sir.
Good. Take no risks, both of you.
Yes, sir.
You mind the long way round, Corporal?
No, sir. I like the Kent countryside.
Good girl. Good man, Mike Yates, don't you think?
He's a good officer, sir.
Oh, come on, Maisie. I'm not asking about just his military skills. He's intuitive. He's got exceptional leadership qualities, don't you think?
I think, with respect, sir, that those are military skills.
We've served together quite a while now, Corporal, haven't we?
3 years, sir. I've enjoyed it, for the most part.
Corporal Maisie, I'm thinking it's time for some promotions within unit. Possibly a captain.
I appreciate what you're saying, sir. Really, I do. But I think you're right. You do need a captain. The troops could do with some stability as well. A handful of sergeants and corporals are all well fine, but the command structure needs to be strengthened.
Yates? Benton? Someone from outside?
Mike Yates will be a fine captain, sir. As I said, I appreciate you waiting this long, but Sam is dead, and life has to go on. For everyone.
That means there'll be a sergeant's job up for grabs. It's yours if you want it.
Nice idea, sir, but I'm not one of the troops. If someone like myself or Carol Bell went for a sergeant's job, we'd have to move away from unit. I know I speak for her by saying neither of us want that.
Yes, I could try for a special dispensation. You'd be one of the few female sergeants in the British Army.
No thanks, sir. I like what I do. Tom Osgood would make a good sergeant. He's a technical wizard, and although he can be a bit eccentric at times, the lads like him a lot. He'd be popular.
Thank you, Corporal, for your appraisal. As usual, I expect I will act upon it.
I feel seasick. Just thought you ought to know.
Nearly there, Dr. Shaw. And I thought you looked sturdier than this.
Sturdier? I've never felt worse. The flight to St. Helier was fine, but this boat, where exactly is this island?
It's a very small lump of rock, only a couple of miles across. It shouldn't take long to find whatever it is they sent us after.
I just hope we get there soon. If this keeps up, I'm losing my lunch.
Where exactly are you taking me? Not back to the Glasshouse, I imagine.
Oh, certainly not. By now, UNIT will be crawling all over it, searching for various things they won't find. This is a very nice part of the country. I used to enjoy walking through trees and fields when I was younger, especially when it was dark.
And for how long have my trusted aides been working for you?
Ice?
I don't want a drink, I want an answer to my question!
Your loss. This, Sir Marmaduke, is your career.
How?
Oh, just a knack. No, that's a lie. I'm stronger than the average human. My reflexes are faster than the average human's. My life expectancy, barring accidents, is longer than the average human's. Oh, and my eyesight is better than the average human's. It extends beyond the normal spectrum into the infrared. I can see colors that the average human doesn't even dream exist.
Are you human?
Oh, yes. But I'm also much better than human now. Augmented by a technology the rest of you can't begin to imagine. And before you ask, yes, alien technology.
And how long have Carr and Sellian been working against me?
Since before you employed them. I created them, I suppose. About 7 or 8 months ago. Using technology that you had a hand in.
Me?
You'll find out very soon. Now, tell me everything you know about the United Nations Intelligence Task Force that I don't already know from working at C-19. Is there anyone left alive?
Not on this floor. All the patients and nursing staff were in the wards on the top 4 floors. They weren't even aware of this massacre, until an hour ago. The body was the reason.
Yes, but why, Tracy? What was there here that she had to die for?
I think you better see this, sir.
A cupboard, Private?
Not exactly, sir.
Well, I've been here a few times with the brig, but I've never seen this part before.
It's like a maze, sir.
We're down here, Sarge. This extends for nearly a mile. Come on down.
What's behind this door, Farley?
It's not pretty. Bullets have blown away most of his head.
Shame that he's not nursing staff, so we can't ID him.
We can't identify any of these poor blighters, then. None of the people in here were nurses.
No, Corporal, we can't. The Glasshouse is top secret. Frankly, only the Brigadier and his main staff, and Dr. Sweetman, of course, officially know about it.
Actually, sir, just about everyone at unit does. It's always been...
A bit of a joke to be sent here. Yes, Private, I know. I was a private too once, and there's another.
What was that man doing over there?
Nothing. Wait a mo. Oh, this seems a bit stupid, but there's a pen and someone's...
Drawing pictures on the wall?
That's about the size of it, Corporal.
Why?
From those caves in Derbyshire. Steve Robbins was drawing pictures like that when those reptile things trapped some of the troops there. Silurians, they were called. And Yates mentioned them when he rounded up Sea Patrol up this morning to go down south. And apart from the dock, they're looking for some missing policewoman who drew similar pictures.
So, that policewoman must have ended up here then?
Sergeant, there's an office to the side just there. We found these.
That's the policewoman the brig's been hunting for. Explains why he couldn't find her down in Kent. She was here, and, as we haven't found her body, she's probably been taken away. Possibly by someone who wants her alive, and ready to talk about the Derbyshire reptiles. I reckon this is a medical or biological lab of some sort.
Looks like it, sir. I'm no Sherlock. I don't think these were the only two working here.
Why?
Well, I'm trying to picture the doctor's laboratory at Unit. I mean, he has loads of things on the go at once, right?
Usually.
So, he's a bit cleverer than your ordinary bloke. But there are 4 or 5 different bits of equipment set up here, like the doctor has. They're spread out more, like individual workstations.
Sarge, what's that policewoman's name?
Red something, I think.
Not Wildman, then?
No. Why?
Personnel file. Catherine Wildman, sir. Worked here, presumably. She seemed to be some sort of animal buffoon, zoology and genetics. Seems she came from Cambridge, and she's not dead out there, is she?
That's one of the men out there, though. James Griffin. Perhaps the other one is this bloke, Atkinson.
Or he could be this bloke. I saw this report first. Peter Morley. He seems to have been in charge, and it's him that the other 3 had to report to, according to their files.
We'll take this lock back to HQ for the Brigadier. I want all the other staff questioned and everything on this level sectioned, and, if it can be carried, taken back to HQ as well. Blimey, where's the doctor when you really need him?
The ape is an abomination generally, but this one is particularly vile. It was involved in the destruction of Ladar's shelter.
Entombment.
I am sorry? Explain.
The doctor is adamant that a majority of Shelter 873's population are still hibernating. Alive, but entombed. The apes sealed them inside their shelter rather than kill them. This ape that Auggi is so keen to blame for everything is actually responsible for keeping our people alive, rather than letting the other apes destroy them.
Thank you, Chuck, but I doubt that will help. So even if the ape is in some way benign, the majority are still murderers. Typical ape behavior. Indeed. And anyway, this ape is what passes for a scientist among the apes. He probably wanted our people to experiment on.
Auggi, you know that is not true.
I do not know whether it is true or not. Neither do you. This ape has fooled you, and you are blinded by its apparent sincerity. Dear Chuck, understand this. You are a good person, with a deep belief in right and wrong. You became our leader after Dorix died, and have seen us through the last few years with great wisdom and sense. But I believe these apes present a terrible threat to us all. To our hatchlings. We need an ape-free world for them to grow up in. Why? Turn the beam up!
No. I believe we should hear this ape. If we consider ourselves the leaders, the decision-makers of this shelter, then we need all available information, no matter how unpalatable. We need to know everything we can. Sit, if you agree.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the honor to address you all today. Everything you have heard about me in this chamber today is true. I was present at Shelter
837.
Yes, Octel's shelter. Many of his people died because they attacked mankind. The apes, as you call them. Mankind was stronger because they were afraid, and fear is a huge asset in war, because it makes people fight harder, dirtier. Believe me, mankind has weapons far dirtier than you. Mankind has split the atom, created nuclear weapons capable of destroying millions of you in a second. We discovered the power of nuclear fission and saw its potential for destruction, but we chose not to develop it further. Why have the apes done something so foolish? Yes, well, you're right. Mankind is foolish. It could wipe itself out in half a day if it so chose. Good. We could live with high radiation levels. Perhaps we should rediscover nuclear power.
That's insane.
I am, of course, joking. But know this as well, noble reptiles. Mankind has 1,000 other skills, as well as making war. For every weapon of destruction, it has 10 cures for diseases, sicknesses, and accidents. For every war that breaks out, another 2 or 3 groups demanding peace spring up. Mankind is resilient. Could the apes cure the genetic disorder in our hatchlings? Possibly. Mankind faces similar problems and finds ways to overcome them.
Chuck, Auggi, there are 2 apes on the surface of the island.
Turn on the screens. The apes are invading. Fellow reptile people, we are under attack. Bring those 2 in for questioning. This ape has tried to fool you. He has lied and betrayed you all. Chuck, Tell me you don't still believe him. He has distracted us all in the hope that we would remain unaware of these others.
I am not sure, Auggi.
Oh no.
You know this ape?
Liz!
Damn cold, isn't it, Liz?
Yes, but we're here to find out what was important enough for our mysterious friend to die for.
I'll be right with you.
Experience tells me the longer you stay near the unknown, the more dangerous it gets. Hello, I know you can understand me. I am not armed and I come in peace.
There were 2 apes.
My friend will be back any second now. She too comes in peace.
Like hell I do.
No! What did you do that for?
It's a Silurian, right?
Yes, but how?
That hole there. Did it come from that?
Yes, but I still don't understand.
No, you don't. Just as well, I only need you for your knowledge of these things. Now, down the hole, or you'll be the one bleeding out.
Where now? I mean, I presume you have a plan of some sort. You obviously knew what to expect.
Nope, not really. I just followed my orders.
Are anonymous informants?
Don't be pathetic, Dr. Shaw. I work for your people. C-19.
You're with Sir John Sudbury?
Wrong again. Our mysterious benefactor thought he was safe from us, but we knew he wanted someone to expose what we do. We got rid of Trainer, and I was sent down to pose as some stupid Dutch journalist he had written to. I followed his instructions, wound up in small marshes, and lo and behold, one Silurian gets the policewoman and the child. I make contact with you and go through the motions of being Yana Bloody Christian for a little longer.
You killed her, I suppose.
No, but someone did. Think yourself lucky I wasn't asked to impersonate you.
Probably because I'd be harder to kill at Unit.
I could walk into Unit any time I wanted to. Now impersonating you would have been difficult simply because we knew Unit would become involved.
Stop, apes! I am Chuck, leader of the shelter, and I...
Doctor!
So apes will help us, will they, Chuck?
Oh, Doctor.
Oh, Liz. No. I'm so sorry. So very sorry.